All right, welcome everyone. So glad to have you here today. And I'm going to give a shout out. A big shout out to Westside Accountability. And it was her who recommended this special stream. So I do discuss in my book and movie, a guide towards modern dating, so to speak, online relationships and such, and what we have to deal with today. But this is a very special stream because I want to come at it at a different angle. It's always challenging when someone requests something that I've already covered, but I come at it from a different angle. So it's always fresh, it's always unique and new, original above all. And that's what makes an artist an artist. It's not just wisdom, it's how you present it. And that's my goal, to present it the best I can. Perfection. So, let's just dive right into it. Her question was Westside Accountability. Could you please point out the differences between the past and the modern, dating scene, so to speak? It's a general question, but pretty much a guide and also highlighting the differences between then and now. So, let me go ahead and I'll give you first my presentation, and then we're going to rate some other people's advice online in the form of questions on the first date or dating in general, and we'll give an applause or a boo. So it's a new rating system, different sound effects. All right, introduction. Well, let me just dive right into it, and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, let me just preface all of this with look, if you go back in the past, things aren't necessarily better. Yes, you were treated with more respect, you were recognized more, but you were also enslaved and trapped in a relationship because you had to get married first before you had sex. Why is that important? Because what if it wasn't what you expected? What if the love connection isn't strong? Not even strong enough? Well, you're stuck. Back then, when you got married, you were stuck. There was no divorce option. And then eventually the divorce option became available, but you were looked down upon. You were shamed for getting divorced. You were seen as a failure. And get this, there was no child support. So the guy could have sex with as many women as he wants, impregnate whoever he wants all across the world, not have to pay a dime. And there you go with single parent mothers everywhere. What do you say to that? Men complaining nowadays about having to pay child support, and some women taking advantage of that, getting pregnant on purpose in order to cash in on that check. Absolutely. But I'd rather have things as they are now, the increased challenges, because you also have increased liberties compared to back then. And also, for any LGBT folks out there, you were pretty much killed if you fell into that category. They would murder you on the streets. So just be thankful of what we have opportunities today. Be very thankful of the many opportunities we have. Stop looking at all the toxic stuff and focus, because you're pretty much spoiled these days. It's all up to you. And that is what I want to highlight. It's always up to you. The dating scenario never changes. Okay, people? It's the same equation. Do you guys make a good couple? Yes or no? So now it should be easier as ever, right? But the problem is people are settling for toxic people and they don't know how to look for a partner. That's where I come in, right? I wish I had a life coach when I was younger. Coached me through school, which tutors are the best around, coached me through life in general because my parents were kind of mediocre, right? I had to learn everything by myself, essentially. So just be thankful, people, that we have so many options these days. No, things were not better back then, but yes, things were better back then in some ways. But in some ways, no. Yes and no. Got it? Let's proceed. It's very important for me to point all that out. Trust me. So, look, here's a bottom line. If you're not completely satisfied with the person you're even dating, just say no. It's that simple, people. You don't have to try to force something because, whoa, he has a hot body, she has a hot body. And does that fill in any of the other blanks that you should be looking for? No. No means no, right? So you got to perfect what you're looking for. And you should be looking for certain attributes, certain personality characteristics in the person that you're dating. Dating just is a fancy word for getting to know someone, just like a friend, right? So that's just a fancy word for that. Now, just be aware. This is not insulting. It's a truth. There are a lot of airheads out there. Hopefully, the airheads fix that problem and learn something in their lives, right? But at the present time, they're not. So you can't expect them to change. All right, this is another bottom line. Don't expect somebody who maybe is a gym buff. They got muscles, but they don't have much upstairs, right? They're just not smart. They're not intelligent. So why would you want to spend, say yes I do and get married with somebody or in a relationship and just waste your time with somebody that you know is not mature enough mentally? But oh, you just want the physical, right? Well, you're playing with fire because what if you get pregnant, right? Or what if you get that woman pregnant? Now you have child support on your hands for those men out there who are fooling around with the hot bodies, and then the women fooling around with the hot body men. Well, you could get pregnant. Now you're stuck with an airhead. I hope the body sensation lasts. Like, wow, such a hot body. I hope it lasts, buddy. Because in the end, these people will never change, most likely. They won't learn anything. They won't become more intelligent. They'll just be the same airheads, same coconuts, as Rocky says in the movie Rocky. You hang out with coconuts, you become a coconut. It's just, that's what I mean by airheads. They're just not worth. These people are immature. They're not growing up. Keyword mature. It's not an insult. It's a fact. No substance, right? And even if they don't go to school, I mean, are they smart enough? Are they wise enough? Are they polite? Are they at least a little bit formal, not crazy and out of control, especially emotionally? That's what I mean by airhead. All right. So follow your dreams. Never settle for less. This is the goes back to compromise. You should never compromise. Otherwise, you're just lowering your expectations. It's the same equation, whether it's the past or the current present moment. If you don't follow your dreams and expect the best out of someone that you're dating, then you're not giving them any challenges. You're just basically saying, "Oh, my love is unconditional. I just love you the way you are." You don't even know this person. Conditional love means you have to get to know this person and see if they fulfill your expectations. Those are what conditions are. You don't buy a house that has a weak structure, right? You want to make sure that that house is going to last a lifetime. Those are the conditions. And it shouldn't be that expensive. It should fit your budget. These are your conditions in order to, so quote unquote, marry your house, right? Pretty much a mortgage means, because it's almost till death do you part. That's what mortgage means, right? Pretty much in a nutshell. Literally. So if you don't follow your dreams, guess what? You're not going to ever find your potential soulmate. And you'll never be happy. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to end up taking it out on the rest of the world. So there's my dating advice. It's just, it goes a lot more than this, but let us proceed. Choose someone filled with adventure, daring, and fun. If they don't have adventure, then what are you looking for? Ask yourself. You're going to end up with a couch potato that considers adventure popping down on a couch and watching Netflix all day. That's not adventure, people. Adventure doesn't mean also going to the top of a mountain, as seen in this picture. What I mean by adventurous is willing to do new things, active minded, active spirited, right? Positive emotions. They gotta be alive and they gotta make you feel alive. Otherwise, what's the point? You can't just marry somebody who's gonna be your friend or slash companion, as many say. Oh, I just need a companion. No, you need your fantasy by your side. And yes, you can find that person, but they have to be willing and able to fulfill your greatest desires. That's adventure, because that's passion. Daring to do things and having fun, right? No matter what the situation is, through the positives and the negatives, always being positive and moving forward, never backward. Your partner should never bring you down. You have to look for these traits and characteristics from your partner in the dating phase. From the moment you first say hi to them, introduce yourself, you have to start listening. Listening means to list down what you're hearing them say. You're making a mental list. Listening. So be careful when you listen to who you want to date. Choose someone who is calm. Okay, you can't build a relationship by rushing through everything. If they're not calm, cool, and collected, then you're going to have a problem on your hands in the future. They're going to lose their temper. They might be bipolar, might have mental issues and emotional issues, unresolved. And forget about going to see a psychologist about it because it may be just too late. That's a red flag you have to look for. Are they calm or are they always fidgeting? Are they like excessive smoking, excessive drinking, excessive caffeine in their system? They just can't stop moving. Because if you don't have the calm factor in the relationship, things are just going to get worse. And you certainly don't want to be stuck in a relationship where your partner is just going ballistic and then makes you fidgety. And, that's going to increase anxiety, depression. You're going to be like, man, my partner's just all over the place emotionally and mentally. And, you need somebody who's calm, but not too calm because that means they're lazy, right? Not too calm. Remember, adventurous and calm, it's a unique balance, right? That's why I put those rocks there. Balance, balance. Now, avoid someone who is too shy, okay? You need a grown-up by your side. It doesn't matter if it's back in the 1940s or the 2024s. Or the 2020s, my bad. Because being shy is fearful. It's okay when you're a little kid, but it's not okay when you're an adult. You need to grow up. Enough with the shyness. It's a little cute to be a little shy about some things. A little bit, people. Because if they're too shy, guess what? They're not adventurous. They're not ready to experience life to the maximum. And that's the end of that. I'm sorry. I'm not showing tough love. It's just the reality of it all. Who are you dating? Are you dating a little kid who's never matured yet? Are you going to help them mature? Because it's almost like a handicap at that point. You're not supposed to be their mother or father and fill in the voids that they were supposed to fill in before they jumped into a serious lifelong relationship. They should be fearless. A warrior, a leader. Yes, I have to go there. An Amazonian for women and a real warrior for men. It's the same thing. You guys got to be fighters and mature fighters in a good way. Not arguing. Mature. That's the key word in this whole presentation. Mature. Maturity. All right. Wisdom. Intelligence. All right. So avoid selfish people because it takes daily teamwork to succeed. If you're dating somebody who's all about me, doesn't give a damn about others, excuse my French, you got a problem. This is a huge red flag. In fact, there's so many narcissists out there. It's just about them. They'll talk over you. They'll talk over other people. They won't let anybody talk except for them, all the time, all day, every day. It's a chronic illness. It's a mental illness, in my humble opinion. They'll just talk right over you. They don't even care about how you think, how you feel, how you're doing, what your goals are. It's all about them. They'll make the entire world revolve around them. And they'll do anything that it takes to make that a reality. Your life is going to be a living hell if you're dating one of these people, and the warning signs are right in front of you. If they order something from a menu in the restaurant, if you go out on a date to a restaurant, and they don't even ask you, oh, so what are you going to order? How do you like the menu? You know, just very attentive, very aware. You know, if they just don't care about you, and then they put you like they don't open the door for you, that's a classic one. You don't have to, but it kind of shows that they put you before them. It's a selfless form of behavior, not just opening doors, by the way. Just asking how you're doing, if they can be of some service, some help, right? Teamwork, people. It takes daily teamwork to succeed. That means each and every single day, no matter how you feel. It's a lifelong commitment. Dating will never change. It's always going to be the immature versus mature people out there. So don't overthink it. It really does come down to the bones of it all. And those are the bones. This is actually the bone marrow of the bones. Maturity versus immaturity in all aspects. What do they laugh at? What kind of jokes do they laugh at? How mature are they? Are they cynical? Are they sarcastic? Are they selfish? Are they careless? Are they crazy? It's okay to be a little crazy, but not in the bad ways. Are they going to get you into trouble, either with the law or with others? Are they narcissists trying to scheme, trying to plan a way to make you suffer one way or another? And also, men, are they a potential you-know-what with the R word? Because if they're not gentle during sex, you better be careful. That's a big red flag. I know a lot of people like to F around there, just to be modern. But if you're not having nice and slow sex, guess what? You're at risk for a potential you-know-what. I'll just leave it at that to keep things clean in here. Let's move on. Not everything in the past is better than today. There's a lot of advantages today that we didn't have in the past. Nowadays, if you are in an R scenario, then you could go report it to the police. Back then, they would just laugh you away and be like, well, too bad you chose to marry him. Imagine that. So, fitness does play a role in attraction, which is very important in a relationship. You have to train yourself to be stronger. Okay, so endurance through cardio and strength through anaerobic weightlifting or calisthenics. If you ignore this, then you are going to become a couch potato, an obese couch potato. And then guess what? You're not going to even be able to have sex. It's true. People have such a big round belly, both men and women. It's just not even possible. Like the dinosaurs. So just think about that. Food for thought. Physical fitness is extremely important. You don't have to diet like crazy, but just be mindful of your diet, right? As well. Not to be too harsh on anyone out there. These are just facts, right? So let's go ahead and continue. All right, so pay attention to the red flags. These are things you don't like and also dangerous, suspicious behavior. You have to be aware. I mean, just when you think you know somebody, they completely change. It's possible. This happens. And unfortunately, when it happens, people get all surprised. It's like, well, you didn't see the warning signs. They were there. They were arguing over the silliest things when they first meet you, and then you kind of laugh them off and shrug them away, and then they turn into more serious arguments in the future. Trust me, your beliefs have to kind of coincide. For instance, if you have a religious person with a non-religious person, or if you have somebody like a Republican Democrat, for those of you who like to play games with political games, which is really silly, it's going to become a problem. I know there's relationships where they do coexist, but trust me, I bet they have arguments all the time. And even if they don't, they're probably arguing about something else. It's just, you guys have to be as close together as possible. Be willing to throw out all this nonsense in your relationship. Oh, I'm this and he's that. And I'm this and she's that. You guys got to come together. That's not a compromise, by the way, because compromise is giving up things that you want in a relationship. I'm pretty sure somebody's not going to want their partner to be a Republican, Democrat, for example. That's kind of sad and lame, in my opinion. Or a certain religion, because you're putting religion above your partner, which is a big no no, in my humble opinion. Welcome to the chat, new subscriber Sable. Love your music, love your mixes. Such a nice person. Welcome, humble welcome. So the red flags, people. Now let's go on and see what other people consider as advice in the form of questions. So I have about 8 slides here that I want to go over. I'm not. You guys can pause them. I'm just going to go over a few questions. Don't worry. So, for instance, 50 relationship questions to ask before dating. Let's see what other people recommend, and let's see if I give it a go or a no-go. Okay. All right, so what are your biggest fears about relationships? That's no. It just doesn't say anything. What do you mean your fears about relationships? I mean, just get to know the person, for crying out loud, right? Let's see what else we got here. What are 3 things that you cannot live without? I mean, sure, that's okay, I suppose. Okay, we're not going to do this for every single question. Let's just read the kind of sort of the rest of it, and we'll give it a rating. How would you describe a perfect date? Not really. What is a relationship deal breaker for you? Yes. Yes. Number 4 is yes, a strong yes. Very important. What's your favorite romantic or sexual activity? Very important. Especially the last one. What turns you off? Absolutely. Can you overlook anything from your partner's past? Everybody has a past, whether it's dark or bright. It's not really a concern, unless it affects who they are now. They should have gotten over it and learned from it. Because you don't want past things, post-traumatic stress, to be a problem in now, right now. It's okay to lament over things in the past, but if you have a depressive case, that's kind of a deal breaker, because you got a mental patient on your hands. You don't want that. Somebody living in the past. That's a big no-no. What do you love about yourself the most? Yeah, that's not vanity. That's a good, honest question. How do you feel about having kids? Very important. Very important. Like I said, you guys better both agree on that, because it's very big. All right. What do you like to spend money on? Sure. There's financial concerns it's important, but it's just a gusto. It's not that important, but okay, I can see, because you don't want a gambler on your hands who's gonna go spend both of your guys' savings on some, just lose it all, right? And somebody who's financially irresponsible. So yeah, that's a very good question. What was the most fun date you ever had? No. Try to stay out of the past. It's okay to go over your past, your exes and stuff, but just do it very briskly. Be very careful with that. What was the most, influential person in your life? Okay, sure, it could be your mom, dad, or whatnot. That's okay. What is your favorite way to relax? Yeah, what are your gustos, right? What is your favorite part of your body? That's interesting. I like the face because of the expressions, to see if they're genuine or not. That's my favorite part of a woman, is the face. Because that's the first thing I think about. She could have a beautiful body, but the face, it says it all. It's a truth teller, in my opinion. It's a work of art in so many ways. All the senses are there too. How many times have you been in love? Well, you're talking about heartbreak, perhaps. For the most part, this one gets a pass. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's see what other people recommend in the forms of questioning. Deep relationship questions. Let's see how deep this is. All right, what do we got? What is the worst thing a past date or an ex could say about you? Oh boy. I don't know. I guess it's just what is the worst thing about you? What is your most precious possession? That's good. List the best qualities you have to bring to a relationship. This isn't a job interview. I kind of don't like that question. That's like a job interview. I don't like that. What do you think you need to make any personal improvements? This is what is this like psychologist? What this is like pointing out flaws and stuff already. Like almost half of this list. We're already on a bad start. What are your biggest fears about relationships? No, that's kind of like the one before. What do you fear the most or whatever? Not really necessary. No. Who has been the most influential person? We already went through that. Apart from your appearance, what is the first thing that people notice about you? Who cares what other people think? Who cares? What is one thing that people do notice about you right away? Who cares what other people think? What is this? This isn't deep. This is pathetic. This is shallow. What are three things that you cannot live without? Okay, that's like what are the three most valuable things? I mean, you could have just asked that. What is your definition of intimacy? Now, this is a big fail, people. Sorry. Very immature. So, see, I'm giving you guys example of what matters and what doesn't matter during the dating process, whether it's 1930s or the 2020s. Then, in my humble professional opinion, 100 tricky relationship questions. Let's see how tricky these are. If we were a celebrity couple, irrelevant. That's ridiculous. That's childish. That's like the airhead question. What do you like about me that nobody else notices? That's okay. What do you like about me that other people notice more than I do? That's a little insecure. How am I supposed to know? I don't even know you yet. Would you rather always have things just go your way or give up all of your control over yourself? Jeez. And your life in exchange for our relationship working forever without fail? I like that. From here on out and throughout any obstacles. Well, that's asking how committed you are. A little too prying, though. That's a little too forceful to ask it, but let's see. Let's just. Would you rather always have things just go your way or give up? That's legit. That's legit. That is deep. That should have been in the previous list with deep relationship questions. What would you do if I told you I was no longer in love with you? Jeez. That's the worst kind of question. Obviously, if you're not in love, it's an immediate breakup or divorce. Are you kidding me? Who the heck would ask that? Oh my goodness gracious. What would you do if I suddenly became famous and had to move away for... Well, that's being in a temporary long-term relationship. I would hope that you would still be loyal to your partner. Just because they can't see what you're doing doesn't mean you don't have a conscience. Oh my goodness. If I change my appearance drastically, would you still love me the same? I don't know. It depends what you're going to change. I mean, what do you mean drastically? Like, become obese all of a sudden? I mean, that's going to kind of change things. But if you still love your partner, then you better whip them back into shape. You know? But drastically, like, I don't know, shave your head off, like, not your head off, but your hair off like Sinead O'Connor. That's you guys should actually discuss those things. Not that you own the other person's body, but that's a little shocking. Okay, it depends what you mean by drastic. I mean, oh my goodness, what a question. If I had a serious accident and became disabled, this is an important question. Would you still love and stay with me? That's very important, because so many people claim they're in love and they just bounce out if something happens. It's a really sad thing, and I actually put that in my book somewhere. If I had, oh, when tragedy strikes, right? If I had a child from a previous relationship, would you be able to love and accept them as your own? Yes, However, just be aware you're never going to be their father, because this is coming from a woman, obviously. Could come from a man, with the previous child, but that's kind of what they call baggage. It's not fair, but it's not their responsibility to accept him. They better treat him politely and with respect. But just be aware, even like an adopted child, you're gonna reach the point when they're a teenager or whatnot, and they're gonna say, "You're not my dad. You're not my real mother," and probably throw something at you. And you gotta be ready for that. Is that something you want in your life, or is that just too much for you to handle? Because you're excused if it's too much for you to handle. It's gonna happen. So it's like owning a dog. Eventually, they're gonna die in your lifetime. Are you gonna be able to handle that? Because you're gonna get attached to the dog. Something to think about. All right, so if I had a serious medical condition similar to a couple questions ago, that would require, would you be willing to take care of me? So, okay, let's see. Celebrity. So they started out immature, but I don't know what to give this one. I guess just because of number 4, I'll give it a pass. All right, so let's just go ahead and move on. That's a very light pass. Just be aware of that. All right, so let's go. The longer the list, the quicker we'll go through these. Those are really short. Personal questions to ask a girl. Well, they could be asked vice versa, perhaps. Do you consider yourself to be an introvert or an extrovert? That's a good question. Are you mostly shy or are you mostly outgoing? That's because you got to see how mature they are, right? What are their insecurities? What are they most proud of? What's your biggest achievement so far in life? Absolutely. What did you want to be when you were growing up? Yeah, that's good. What's your weirdest celebrity crush? That's stupid. What movie is guaranteed to make you cry? That's okay, not important. What's your favorite way to relax? That's important. Do you believe in love at first sight? No, there's attraction at first sight, and love is developed between two people later. Would you rather be famous celebrity or an unknown millionaire? I prefer unknown millionaire. But yeah, that kind of shows if they care about being famous, fame and fortune. That's a good question. What are you most insecure about? Yeah. What's your love language? That's kind of vague. What do you mean, body language or verbal or I don't know. That's kind of like, or just sexual activity. What do you think is your biggest character flaw? Do you think it's possible to forgive and forget? That's a very important one. Number 12. What's the most embarrassing thing to happen to you in public? That's not important. What constitutes a successful relationship for you? Sure, yes. What do you know? No, how do you know when you're in love with someone? Yeah. What were you like as a child? Okay. Have you ever broken the law? If so, what did you do? What are you, a cop? You a detective? You see? I'm not so sure about that one. I guess. Yeah, no, guys. That's actually legit because you shouldn't be looking up their name behind their back and see, oh, is he on this list? Is she on that list? Just ask them because then you'll know if they're telling the truth or not. Then you can go play that little spiel if you want. It's a little creepy though, looking up somebody that you're meeting behind their backs. That's a little creepy, a little untrustworthy. But hey, you do whatever you gotta do, I guess. I mean, who am I to judge that part? That's a preferential thing to stay at. Maybe it's a red flag, right? Let's see. What's the weirdest dream you can remember having? That's not really important, man. What's your biggest regret? I mean, you can ask those questions later. When you guys already know each other. That's fine. I'm just saying, not now, during dating. What do you believe in that most people don't? Interesting question, I suppose. Sure. Yeah, so for the most part, this gets a pass. it's not horrible. So let's go ahead and proceed. 50 questions, and trust me, there are 50 questions. We're gonna have to move this image in vivo to get to know someone better. What is your biggest passion in life? How do you define success? What is your favorite childhood memory? What is the most challenging experience you've ever had? How do you handle stress or difficult situations? Yeah, long term goals and aspirations. Let's see. Always wanted to learn or try. Favorite book or movie. Ideal day. Core values and beliefs. Favorite way to give back to your community. That's that's forget about number 11. What the heck is that? Biggest fear and how you overcome it. Yeah. Most important lesson you've learned in life so far. Your favorite way to relax and unwind. A most influential person in your life. Favorite type of music. Handle disagreements. You know what? This list is really good. Not bad. However, let's move the list upward to see what the other questions are. All right, what do we got here? And then, okay, how do you define love and what does it mean to you? Favorite way to spend quality time? Biggest pet peeve? Prioritize your time and commitment. See, so Westside Accountability, if you're watching this, hopefully, because this is your requested stream, and for anybody else watching this in the dating, not game, but dating situation, haven't found your soulmate yet, you see what's going on here. What's important to you to ask your partner? What do you consider important questions and to get to know your partner? So this isn't just words here. You got to pay attention to what's being asked here because they can give you ideas as to, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. That is important to me. So let's see, prioritize your time and commitments. That's kind of like job interview stuff, not really important. Something you've always wanted to achieve but haven't yet. How do you handle setbacks or failures? That's a job interview thing. There's a little bit too many job interview things so far. Favorite way to show appreciation to others. Most adventurous thing you've ever done. Handle change or uncertainty. Favorite quote or mantra. Favorite way to stay active and take it. You know what? This is okay. I think you can read the rest. I'm going to give it a pass. You know, because we read most of it and it seems pretty legit. Pretty useful. The last 5 questions. How do you handle criticism? As a job interview. Favorite way to express your creativity? That's like your hobby, I suppose. Favorite way to recharge and find inspiration? How do you handle setbacks or failures? It's a job interview. I'm not going to give it a fail because there's some job interview like questions in here. But you know what? You have to fulfill the position. Are you going to be the best partner in the world? It's kind of like a job interview, but I wouldn't ask these things. Like I said before, you can ask them later. Don't don't job interview your partner for crying out loud. Oh man, what's your favorite way to show appreciation? They already asked that. Anyways, let's move on. Favorite date? Let's see. First date questions. All right, first date. Gotcha. What's the most fascinating place you've ever been to? All right, so go ahead and pause that and read that. I'm just gonna go over maybe 2 more. Let's skip all the way down to 10. What's the most inspiring book you've ever read? Perfect Soulmates. Love Requires Perfection. My book. What are you talking about? There is no other book that's most inspiring book I've ever read. I can't even put my own book down. It's not because it's my book. It's because it's a masterpiece. And people are like, what, you want to doubt that? Because you didn't even read it. I mean, it's not because it's my book. It's like I've been through college. I've read so many books in my life through school. And even extracurricular activities, just random books that were recommended or... And I'm like, you know what? I love my book so much because it's not because I just wrote it, but I had to, do heavy editing, like read my book literally 5 times. And I'm so proud of it. And I can't put it down every single time I pick it up, once in a while. It's so beautiful, and I don't think I could do it again. That's how beautiful it is. It's just like a sculpture. Once the sculptor is making it, he's like, I don't think I could do this again. It's magnifique. It's the best. So, what do I give this? This rating for this one here. How do you approach challenges and setbacks? This is like job interview stuff. I guess I got to read a couple more in order to give this a rating. So let's read a couple more. Number 20. What's a unique and cherished memory from your childhood? And let's go to number 15. What's a dream goal you're actively working towards? All right, let's give this a pass. It looks pretty. It doesn't look like a job interview. So, not bad, to consider what to look for in a relationship, these days or in the past. All right, let's read this one. This isn't too long, and this looks important. Romantic questions. Don't worry, there's not 125. There's only about 25 here. And we're going to skim through these. What is your idea of a perfect date? Yeah. What do you look for in a girl or a guy? Okay. What do you know? Let's see. How do you know if someone is amazing? What do you mean amazing? That's kind of vague. Are you obsessed with something right now? What are you talking about? Oh, Pokemon. I'm so obsessed. I gotta go catch one right now. He's right outside. What is the best place to have first date? Oh my goodness. If you say KFC, we got issues. Who is your celebrity crush? No, no. Have you been working out? No, you know what? I don't even feel like reading the rest. Let me skim. What is your type? What does love mean to you? Okay, getting a little better. What do I mean to you? You're just getting to know each other. What do you mean? What do you... Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry, people. I mean, you gotta be joking. Let's just move on. That's not really romantic either. Who wrote that? You're always gonna have bad advice out there, people. Just use your own your own intuition and instinct. Okay, they're not the same. Intuition is using your wisdom connected to your intelligence from the brain and from the heart, right? It's that connection. And instinct is how do you feel? Meaning your nervous system, your body. Do you feel calm with this person? Instincts, right? Your senses. So, okay, let's go ahead and read this last one here. 10 questions to deepen intimacy. We'll see about that. This sounds very important, though. When do you feel close to me? What are you talking about? I mean, should be constantly. How did you feel the first time we made love? Yeah, that's an important question. What food would be fun to play with during sex? Just get some, what do you call that? The cream that you spray out of the bottles, that should be sufficient. What spontaneous place? You got to be careful with that stuff, people. You could get infections, so careful with that. What spontaneous place would you like to have sex? Well, yeah, start with the car and move from there. The kitchen, the laundry room, especially with the dryer on. You get the drift. Be creative. Just don't break the dryer or anything. Like, don't fall off it either. Okay, I'll just save the details. Too much information. But, there isn't such thing as too much information when it comes to sex. You guys got to go over everything and anything. So let's see. If you could use your hands on me, what would you do? Massage? That's a good start. It's a little too specific. What is your favorite thing I do in the bed? That's very important. That's extremely important. They got to be your fantasy. Absolutely. When do you feel most loved and appreciated? Absolutely. What is a romantic fantasy of yours? Absolutely. And if you have more than one, you better list them. You're talking about spending your rest of your life with this person. If you're going to lie to them and lower your expectations, you got problems. Do not hold back. There is no compromise when it comes to a relationship. Otherwise, you're going to get less than what you expected. You're never going to be happy. They'll never be what you wanted them to be. And it's not about forcing them to change. It's asking them, are you willing to change for me to fulfill my needs? And am I being what you wish for, right? What you've always wanted. Am I what you always wanted? If not, help me become everything that you want. That should be your only goal in a relationship. If you're not asking that question to your partner, you're not going to succeed and it will fail. You'll be stuck in mediocrity, which I call quicksand. Huh. Okay, let's continue here. This is a great one. If you had a sexual superpower, what would it be? You know what mine would be is, the what is it? The Planeteers from Captain Planet. The last guy, the one with the heart ring. If I had that heart ring, I could turn trolls into the most loving people. I can turn the most evil people into the most loving people. I would just have to point that ring and it forces them to change to be better people. To not be sarcastic and scared, no fear of anything, loving people, intelligent people. That heart ring would change the world. I don't need fire. I don't need earth. I don't need wind and water and whatever the other thing is. I mean, I need that heart ring. And Captain Planet, the Planeteers. Oh my goodness. What would you like more of in our relationship? Absolutely. Oh my goodness. You know what? This is a stellar best out of all of them. Pass. Absolutely. So, that was the last slide. So, I hope this answers all of Westside Accountability's questions on the past versus modern. Not to be afraid of the modern because we have so much more advantages, so many more advantages today that we didn't have back then. Back then, it was like a prison. You were not allowed to get out of a bad relationship. You weren't allowed to divorce. And if you did, when the time came, the ability to divorce, you were looked down upon and seen as a failure. Even to this day, people in India, for example, in some parts of India, when they have arranged marriages, if you fail, men actually take this poison and kill themselves because they can't go back home and face their families. How sad is that? And it's still going on to this day. I met someone in that situation. We were begging him, "Do not take the poison. We'll help you get out of this situation," and we did. And now he's just the happiest guy ever with his new partner, and he's succeeding in life. So please, guys, don't let heartbreak destroy you. There's always another way. There's always solutions, right? Yeah, so Westside Accountability, there you have it. Be kind and hit that rewind button. Make sure you watch this. Not telling you what to do, but this was dedicated to you and also to everybody else, and hopefully it was useful. So let's see. Give a shout out to Sable once again. Maria Olivares. Oh, on TV. Thank you. That's awesome. You're watching my channel on your TV. I appreciate that. That's wild. That's wild. Thank you so much. I feel more significant now. Let's see. Thank you, Sable. Very kind words. And yes, good advice, Maria. Always keep looking. For those of you who haven't found your perfect soulmate. Now, I will point this out. The beginning image, I have to sadly point this out here. This is where we're heading to, people. We're heading towards, they want to create sex robots and replace the humans with everybody being selfish and just numb. They don't want you to feel any love, or they want to kill the orgasm, the sense of love and passion. They don't want any of that in the future. These billionaires who pull the strings of all the governments in the world. It's not a conspiracy, it's a fact. And this is what we're heading towards because of mass ignorance, and nobody's looking at where we're headed. So this is a severe dystopian future. I had to throw this out there. That's why I chose this image as a cover. It's a sad world that we're living in right now. That's why I'm here as a warrior fighting in the name of love and trying to give the wisdom to everybody, pretty much, because my book applies to everybody from teenager to adult, probably age 14 and above, I'd say. And also my movie is the fast food version. If you guys don't like reading books, or maybe you guys don't retain information that well with ADHD cases, then the movie is perfect because it's just an hour long. You just watch a movie in 10 separate videos and you're done. Now, this is my fight to help prevent this. Maybe it's inevitable. Maybe it's a lost cause what I'm doing because it's coming on strong and people are being brainwashed to be selfish, to be passive, to not care about warriors like myself, to not take this seriously. And I feel the challenge, and I'm going to do my best to fight for humanity in the sense of how important love is on every single day. And it's sad. It's a really sad world out there, offline and online. There's so many people who are passive. They're like, no, no, thanks. I don't even care to even, love doesn't exist. And there's so many divorces and breakups because people are so passive. They're not paying attention to the red flags, yada, yada. So if guys, let this be known in history right now through this channel. If I do fail, it's because I tried, but I couldn't succeed without everyone else. There's no such thing as a one man army in this. So hopefully you'll join me in the army of true love. And yeah, I guess when you get passionate, you'll want to read that book and watch the movie and get on the same level I'm on, and then we can actually talk about everything together. But if not, I thank you for your support any way you can, and but hopefully you will get that curiosity, because I need more soldiers out there, more warriors. Clearly, we don't have enough because everybody just wants to watch cat videos and PewDiePie, who's actually still retired right now. He has a family of his own now, so eventually, entertainment's gonna die off. You'll get tired of it, and ask yourself, what did you accomplish? What good did you do to the world? What kind of messages did you pass on? Even if you do win the battle against corrupted governments, anarchy is scary because what have people learned? What are their values? Is it really going to be a better existence, or are people going to be begging for governments to come back, even if it's corrupted, even if they're corrupted? So ask yourself these questions. It's not always the grass is greener in the future. It depends what are we actually going to do with situations that we're kind of overlooking right now. And love is a very big topic that is being overlooked today. And there's lots of bad advice out there too. So that's just my 25 cents on the topic. We're going towards a robotic future with no jobs and you just live on welfare. So go figure. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Not trying to end it on a sad note, but on a real, serious note. And who knows what the next show will be. So much love to everybody out there. And hey, Friday's right around the corner. So jump up and down for me. And have a great night when the time comes. Yeah, I'll see you later.